What, in your mind, are the three of the biggest mistakes financial institutions are making? And then on the flip side, what are, in your mind, three of the biggest opportunities for financial institutions such as credit unions?
I love this question, and it really fits into so nicely of what we teach at Q's through the model of how do you want to grow, grow being an acronym of what are your goals, what are the roadblocks, and what are the opportunities. So let's look at the roadblocks first and foremost. Number one, and they're all interconnected. Number one, not having a defined digital growth strategy in the first place. We're still seeing in 2020, in a post-COVID world, around 85% of financial brands have not taken the time to stop and pause to actually diagnose where they're at and where they could go next. Because what happens when they have no strategy, they dabble in digital. Credit unions are dabbling in digital, meaning they've done a lot of digital tactics, but it's not through the unified lens of growth. And so what does that yield? It yields frustration, that we've tried some of this, it hasn't worked. It yields confusion. We know this is important, but what do we need to do next? And it yields overwhelmment, because as the speed of change continues to quicken because of digital, credit unions and marketers in particular get stuck in what we call the circle of chaos. And the good news is they don't have to stay stuck there, because on the flip side of the equation, what are the greatest opportunities? Very first and foremost, gaining clarity into the future. And when you gain clarity into future growth opportunities, you naturally overcome the fear of the unknown that holds so many credit unions back from making progress in the first place. So looking at the world in a whole new vantage point is one of the biggest opportunities through gaining clarity. I think the other is really helping to build courage internally, and building courage to commit. And a lot of that comes from that perspective of strategic thinking, of strategic planning with a digital first or a digital growth mindset. Because when we look at the way that the world was, which was physical first, branch first, digital was like bolted on as an ad hoc to the traditional growth model. But now when you start flipping the model upside down to where digital first leads the way and the physical world supports the digital, that is very scary. You're literally flipping people's worlds upside down. So courage and commitment are really needed, and that comes through the ideas of strategic planning. And I think the third opportunity is developing and building confidence as you move forward and make progress along the digital growth journey. Don't try to boil the ocean. Don't take on too much. Look at the world through a lens of 90 days, not 3 to 5 years. Because when we shorten the horizon line, we can then measure progress, the progress that we're making on this journey, and not the perfection or what we still have to do, because that's where we just get stuck in the circle of chaos and that sense of overwhelmment.
That's great perspective. Thanks for sharing.